Welcome back to Lefty Chef God's Cosmic Kitchen. On this episode, we're going to talk about herbs and spices. So I've been leading a charge to try to get people to eat less salt because in our community there's a high rate of hypertension, diabetes, and things like that. So what I like to do is I like to try to get people to eat a little bit better. So what we're doing wrong with salt is we're using salt as a seasoning, and salt shouldn't be used as a seasoning. It should be used as a flavor enhancer or a preservative. Right, so I'm going to give you a few tips on some other herbs and spices and things like that you can use to kind of supplement using a lot of that salt. You can add salt at the end just to kind of bring those flavors together. So one of my favorite go-tos is from off the bat is the ground cumin. Ground cumin, nice earthy, heavy flavor. Fish, chicken, you can pretty much put it on just about anything. And most of these herbs and spices I want to go over, they work well with anything. Depends on the amount of how much flavor you want in that specific item. Is going to differ. The ground cumin is one of my all-time go-tos. We also have obviously black pepper, which is I put it on everything. Black pepper is one of my top guys. And along with the cumin is the ground coriander. Ground coriander, really good, really strong flavor. So you want to put it on something heavier like red meats, pork. If you eat pork, it works well with pork. These two together work very, very well. Another one in the same vein is allspice. Allspices, they're little pimento like berry type deals. They also allspice also works very, very well with cumin and coriander. Then we're going to go to some other things. So ground cinnamon, a lot of these dark herbs for some reason seem to work very, very well together. Cinnamon is another one. I use cinnamon. I just made some bolognese sauce the other day, which is basically traditional spaghetti. But bolognese, the traditional way, has a little bit of cinnamon and heavy cream in it. We'll work on that. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But cinnamon, really good, pulls out a lot of flavor, especially like lamb and things like that. Ground ginger. Ginger is really good. Obviously, there's a lot of health benefits in ginger. Ginger's a really good one. You want to be careful with what you put ginger in. But if you're doing like marinating meats and things like that, ginger's a good thing to go with. I probably wouldn't go with it on fish or seafood because it has a pretty strong flavor. Obviously, you're gonna use garlic. We use a lot of garlic. Granulated garlic is really good. Same thing, garlic, a lot of benefits and properties. Anti-inflammatory, antifungal, things like that. It's really good for health. And then when you start getting into like really good deep flavor, of course, the curry powder. Curry powder is another one that I can mix with these guys. Very good with slow roast meats, things like that. Chicken leg, chicken thigh, those types of things like that. Now we're gonna also focus on paprika. Paprika is a really good spice. Very mild flavor. Some people rather use smoked paprika than a fancy paprika or Hungarian paprika or things like that. They come in different varieties. The flavors vary, but they're pretty mild flavors. So now we're gonna get into some of the herbs that we use around here. And some of my favorite herbs are going to be obviously your rosemary. Reminds you of Christmas time. This is very good on chicken, pork. It works with beef, but for me, chicken and pork it kind of works well with. I love the smell of rosemary. We also have a little bit of thyme or however you pronounce it, wherever you're from. This also is a little bit milder, not as robust flavor as oregano. Very earthy, really, really good. Goes with everything because it has a milder flavor. And marjoram, same thing. It's kind of a milder herb. I pretty much put this in like a lot of soups and things like that, a lot of stews. Is what I use it for personally. And then the French thought it was a good idea to kind of blend up all of their a lot of their herbs and spices in the herb de Provence, which is rosemary, marjoram, thyme, sage, anise, and some lavender, I believe. This is a really good blend, nice and smooth. Also, very sagey. Sage is I love sage. Sage is nice and pungent. And for a lot of my stews and things, I use a little bit of bay leaf. You only need a little bit. It doesn't really have a smell, but the flavor is kind of subtle. Kind of like pulls a lot of the other herb flavors in. So I use 1 or 2 of these in every gallon or 2 of soup. Right, and last but not least, so we're going to get a little bit of scientific and controversial here, but monosodium glutamate. So in the 80s, this stuff got a bad rap because they linked it to Chinese food. And the scientist did an experiment where he asked people if they felt nauseous from eating Chinese food, and they all said, yeah, we did. So they attributed it to the MSG that was used in the food. So the scientist did a study where he injected pure MSG into a rat's brain, and obviously it didn't have good results. So when he published his paper, he published that MSG was actually bad for us. MSG is actually not bad for us. It's made out of it's made out of algae, and it's something that glutamate is something that we all produce, and every living thing has glutamic acid in it, and that's basically what this is, monosodium glutamate. So we've been able to extract the salts out of the algae and come up with monosodium glutamate, which is pure savory flavor. It's that same flavor you get from soy sauce or oyster sauce and things like that, where it's not really salty, but it has a lot of robust flavors. This is actually 33% less sodium than salt. So using a little bit of MSG, just a little bit, in some of your ingredients, I wouldn't say use it a lot, but in some of the things that you eat, will pull out a lot of that flavor with giving you a lot less sodium content, right? And those are the herbs and spices that we use here in our Kitchen 2.0. Stay tuned next time on Cosmic Kitchen. It's your boy Lefty Chef God.